Absolutely.
Cool.
You didn't kind of end that sentence there. It was kind of weird.
We're around,
But
yes.
anyway,
exactly.
we've gone through those. If you've got any more, definitely let us know. But sure, like
Yes.
you've mentioned top of the notes this week, that is it China that's had the box office success.
Yes.
It's just absolutely blown this week's or this month's box office record out of the water, apparently. Do you have information on what that means?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, basically, okay, so we all know what's going on in the world and how the movies are shut
Really?
down.
What's going on?
Oh, well, apparently there's these scheduling conflicts and a cobweb on my face. But
Yeah.
no, so basically, like, China was obviously affected, and its theatrical goings and stuff did shut down for a while.
Yep.
America still fucking is shut down. We're fortunate enough, knock wood, that our cinema going has barely been affected, which is great. But China, they have basically proven that they are back to better than ever, more so than ever. So they have a franchise over there called Detective Chinatown.
That sounds amazing.
I know, exactly. I kind of want to watch it because it's like a comedy action, like in a group of like misfit people, you know, like haha, good times.
Those comedy action films that are made in foreign countries, foreign to us countries like India and China, they just seem so much, or Russia, for example, they just seem so much more crazy than like American productions.
No,
So,
absolutely.
yes,
But
continue.
anyway, the third installment of this film opened, and its first day release, it opened with $160 million in one day.
That's massive.
In one day. And then for the whole weekend, closed it out for a 3-day weekend with $397.2 million.
That's fucking
For a
extraordinary.
weekend. Like, that's good gross for a, like, month.
Yeah.
You know, for a normal, like, just generic action film kind of thing. But 397.2 million over one weekend, which basically proves that they're good now with their industry and stuff and things being open.
Seems like the Chinese
accessible.
cinematic market, like people over there really needed to go to the movies, and they absolutely did to see the latest and greatest action blockbuster comedy. So
No, that's
props
right.
to them for actually reeling in those numbers, because you always hear about certain franchises relying on China to be like the success, like in Star Wars, for example, and things like that. Or Terminator, you hear about the Chinese box office as apparent as opposed to everything else.
Well, one of the big ones that got pushed back and is still pushed back at the moment was relying on this market was James Bond.
Yeah,
if you remember
007,
correctly, like they are huge in China. So that one being pushed back was mostly because China couldn't work. So at the moment that China's back, that's fantastic. But it also did fall at the beginning of their week-long Lunar New Year celebration where the whole country almost shuts down, kind of thing. So it was just a matter of like perfect timing and stuff. But it's especially weird to hear of a third, like a third sequel or a second sequal, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Pull in that kind of number as well. And
Yeah,
beat out the
usually
first two.
like if like a popular franchise like this comes out of the woodworks, out of nowhere, essentially, you know, it'll have a success, and then like obviously the sequel's sort of less and less. But in this case, people just, as I said, people just really wanted to go to the movies that weekend, and that was on.
Yeah.
So, you know, and you hear about like these movies that keep going, like IP Man. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I think there's been like 3 finales alone.
I know, right? But you never hear about IP Man 10
Yeah.
breaking box office records.
No, that's exactly right.
Man
Yeah,
4,
it's got its audience. It's going to make its dollary dues. But
That's right.
The fact that it's crazy numbers. But
I'm interested to check this one out to see whether we're going to get a theatrical release here in Australia after the popularity and the success of this, because it seems to me that it's similar in the vein of Parasite, where all of a sudden it gets massive reviews and notifications about this sort of information worldwide, and the rest of the world takes notice.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe we should actually put this thing on, you know, and you know, give it that worldwide spread. So whether we see this here in Australia, we'll see.
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, like you said, we'll see. But we have been getting a bit more of a influx of those foreign films lately as well.